Hey YouTube, welcome to another episode of Nathan's Supra. Today, we're going to install seat heaters. It's chilly out there. I'm not really driving this car that much because of, well, not necessarily how cold it is, but more the snow. But even so, it is nice to have something to warm up your butt and back while you're sitting in the chair, so, or in the car. So that's what we're gonna install today. Alright, so here's what the kit comes with. You've got two of these heat pads, obviously, and then this is the wiring harness. So it's got a fuse, little fuse thing there, and this is designed to be like put into a fuse box. So like this little thing here is for like sticking it in a fuse box, and you don't have to, like, you can stick it in and still have a fuse attached. This is the relay that ultimately turns it on. I believe this is ground. I'm not totally sure where I'm going to put it yet, but it's ground. And then it also comes with a little button to turn it on and off. And then it comes with these little staples for putting the seat cushion back on, and I'm guessing this tool might be for maybe pulling the old ones out. And then it just has directions. Okay. Now, it might be helpful to have, a wiring diagram for your car. The important part is that you do not want to wire this directly to the battery, okay? If you do that, I promise that you will come back to a dead car one day because you will forget to turn this off. But you want to wire it to either the accessory or the ignition line, which my car actually has two ignition lines, but it doesn't really matter which one you do. Just you need to wire it to one of those, okay? And then I just also have this open to the fuse box. So my plan right now is to try to stick it in right next to this 20 amp fuse for the wipers. I'm actually not sure what size fuse this uses, but yeah, I wanted it to be something pretty strong. And so yeah, I'm just gonna put it right with the wiper fuse, which is inside it's by the driver's kick panel, driver's side kick panel. So. All right, so I'm gonna kind of try to show what's going on here. First thing that is, I would say, concerning. Real quick, let me just show you. This is the diagram, okay? Take a good look at it. And now, I'm gonna get closer. But you can see, according to the diagram, this should be a 7.5 amp fuse, and somebody appears to have replaced it with a 30 amp fuse. So obviously that's not what the purpose of this particular project is, but I would prefer to replace that with the proper fuse. So I am gonna replace that for sure. It's not even the right size. I don't even know that it's connecting anything. What it says on there is gauge. I'm guessing maybe the cluster. I don't know. I'll have to look at the manual for that one. I also just am looking at the stop fuse, that yellow fuse. It's kind of in awful shape, so I'll probably replace that one as well. But the one that I'm actually interested in is this yellow fuse right here. Okay, that's the wiper fuse. Okay, I'm gonna pull that. I'm gonna figure out which side of it is hot when it's pulled, and then I'm gonna put that connector there. The other thing here, and this is why I've actually got this piece removed. Let's see if I can zoom in there. See that metal with that screw? That is the ground, okay? Now, I could probably use a different ground if I wanted to, but I'm gonna go ahead and just use this one because it's right there. It's actually not that hard to get to, so at least it doesn't seem like it is. So I'm gonna just disconnect that, put the little ground connector on there, and put it right there. So I'm really just here to inform you that with the fuse pulled, that yellow, what used to be a yellow fuse right here, this top pin is the one that goes directly to the power source. Okay, and so that's where I'm gonna put the little connector that is meant to go around the fuse. And I'm doing that because I don't want the wiper fuse to actually be, or I don't want this heater to be on the same circuit as the wiper fuse. It's only going to be on the same connector, and that should be okay. But I don't want it to actually be on the same circuit, because then if I end up pulling too much power, I could blow that fuse. So, yeah. So if you have this car, that's your tip. Now this might seem obvious, but in case it's not to somebody, here's how you get this little connector attached on the fuse. Okay, just kind of fits around it, and then you shove it in the spot where the fuse goes. All right, gonna try and get a good angle, as good of an angle as I can with this, but it might not be perfect. So this red wire here is the power wire. Okay, sorry, I got some wires in the way. It is plugged into the top lug on that fuse. Okay, that top lug is the one that goes straight to the battery, and that's the one you want to plug it into. If you plug it into the bottom one, then you're basically going to be taking current from your windshield wipers, and I mean, I don't know how much current each of these pull, and so you could blow a fuse if they end up pulling too much together. So that's where that is, and then the ground is that screw right there. Okay, now that's a little trickier. You might see that little silver thing behind it. That is one of those like U lugs, and so as much as possible, try not to move that thing. Okay. Mine ended up moving, and when it moves, it's a bit of a pain in the butt to get back to where it needs to go. But because you need to take the screw totally out in order to get the ground wire on it, unless you change the lug that's on there, which might be worth it. But yeah, now, and then once you get it back on, you need to make sure that that's not gonna move. I just pushed on it that metal piece a little bit. Yeah, because you want a good ground connection. You don't want a bad ground connection, especially because that's probably connecting quite a few things grounding wise. So yeah. All right, so the next step is I want to see if I can get the heat pads inside of the seats. Okay. And so the first thing to do with that is going to involve disassembling the seat, at least to a certain extent. So I don't exactly know how to do this, and so there may be some bumps and bruises along the way, so you'll have to bear with me. First, I'm going to see if I can remove this hard back. Those are legit screws with bolt heads on them. Every once in a while, it's a good idea to do some work in the back seat of your car so that you can experience whoever's riding in the back seat of your car is experiencing. So to pull this out, it looks like you have to push it up. Yep, is that right? Like that. So once you take these off, you just push it up and it comes right out. yeah, here I can see the back of the seat. It's got rust, but honestly, it's in good shape. Like, yeah, it's really, there's not a lot that can really go wrong in these. So I'm just glad that there's not like an animal or something in this. Looking at it, there's some clips that are holding it on, holding the fabric on. I'm wondering if I can just disconnect a couple of these and be able to pull it around so that I can slide the pad in the front. All right, so I never really walked through how to work on these things. They're not hard, and that's partly why I didn't really walk through it like when I was in the car. These are very malleable. I can even bend it a little bit just like that. I could probably fold it in on itself if I wanted to with just my fingers. They're made out of zinc, I think. Obviously, this is one of the new ones, but the old ones are pretty much the same. I mean, you'll stick yourself. I mean, honestly, with gloves, you could probably do this completely toolless. But the thing that I used mostly to do this was just a pair of needle nose pliers. I did find it was helpful to have two even. This one's a longer pair, probably not necessary, but yeah, if you have two pairs of needle nose pliers, this will work perfect. I did use some regular pliers and they worked. There were a few times when I was installing them that I just wasn't really able to get in there very well, and so that's when I went and just grabbed these. The tool that comes with the kit is terrible. Don't waste your time with that. I honestly don't know what it's intended for. But yeah, so that's kind of how you can use that. And honestly, you just kind of like with the fabric, just try to use the hole that was already there if you can. Just stick it through that and then bend it in on itself as much as possible. Kind of, yeah, honestly, using the pliers is helpful. So yeah, if there's any questions you guys have with that, feel free to drop a comment. Kit for this comes with this tool, presumably for removing the clips. Is it any good for it? I have no clue. That's something we're gonna find out together. For removing them, the answer is if it's good or not is a no. Alright, so now I want to disconnect these things. Are kind of holding the bottom of the cushion on. So I think I can slide this warmer up this, up from the bottom. I don't think I needed to remove or to undo the clips holding it in right here. It's fine though, because the kit comes with plenty of replacements. But I think if you just undo this bottom one, you can slide the pad up from the bottom. So what could complicate this a little bit is that this has an adhesive on it. You don't necessarily have to use it, I'm willing to bet. But I think I will, just for good measure. Actually, what I'm gonna do, let me see if I can feed this up to the front. Okay, so I ended up removing the clips on both sides of this chair, and then I'm kind of pushing the cushion up, and then as well I'm pushing the bottom part of the cushion forward. And some of this out without ripping it. Strap here. Okay. So, all right. So there's these two plastic straps on either side. I'm going to need to remove as well. Still doesn't work. All right, so now I can pretty easily get to the inside of this guy, and that's where I'm going to put the pad. So here it is. It was kind of hard for me to get a video of me actually putting it on there. Hopefully the seat will come out a little better. Here we go. Now let's just put it all back in there. And in particular, I'm going to make sure I shove this cable kind of through here. And yeah, kind of have it come out the other side. Make sure that these little rubber guys, make sure you shove those in too. You're gonna want to reattach those. Make sure you attach everything the way that you took it out. All right, let's see if this thing's any good for putting these back. Basically what you want to do, you just want to make sure you can bend the thing so it's not going to come out. They do bend pretty So now I need to get into the bottom cushion. That's gonna be a lot harder than getting into this one was, but that's okay. I'm gonna start off by taking this plastic fascia off. Alright, so I'm not able to get this off without removing this screw, which I don't have a good angle to do that. Yeah, if I had a angled screwdriver, I might be able to, but I don't have one. So I'm gonna have to disconnect the whole chair. That's okay. So the back bolts are covered by some plastic trim pieces. I'm hoping I can get off nice and easily with a screwdriver. Let's see. All right, so appears that these are held on with 14 millimeter, or with bolts with 14 millimeter sockets, or heads, 14 millimeter heads, excuse me. So now, looks like we need 14 millimeter socket to get these two bolts off. A part of me thinks I should spray this with penetrant creeping oil, is what I normally call it. But I don't really want the car to smell like that, or the inside of the car to smell like that. So I'm gonna try and get away with it. That feels good. For what it's worth, the torque values of these are not particularly high, so it doesn't mean they can't still get rusted up and break. All right, so to get this one out, I needed to use my impact, okay? And then it did come out pretty easily. I actually used it on the lowest setting. Two things with that. I might have been able, like I actually tried using a breaker bar. The problem was I was not really able to get a really good angle on it that I was comfortable turning it at, okay? Sometimes, especially with really old bolts like this, and honestly, it could even be in, like, threaded into rust, for all I know. Like, I mean, there's not that much rust on the bottom of the car, but there could be, or there could be rust right there. And yeah, this one was just held in a lot more, and the angle was not as good. So when the angle isn't as good, that's where you really need to be careful, because you only want to turn the bolt on. So like, if this is your bolt, you only want it to turn like this. If you are like, if you have a wrench on there and you're like turning it like this, you're gonna break it. And so I ended up needing to use this to take it off. If you spray it with penetrant, you might be fine. Like, yeah, again, I'm trying to keep the inside of the car from smelling like penetrant. So I found it necessary to disconnect this thing. It's just a single bolt, has some stuff on it, but as far as like washers, I guess. But yeah, just another 14 millimeter socket. We'll get that off. All right, so I got the seat up like this. This honestly, to me, seems like it's plenty of room to kind of work on the bottom of this thing. Again, it's not like I'm needing to, like, you know, do something really drastic. I just need to get this cushion off so that I can put the pad underneath. Now, to take this plastic piece off, I'm just gonna kind of go through how you do it. First thing is this connector here comes off pretty easily. Right in there. And then this is where the wheel is to, like, adjust how far back you're leaning. Looks like this thing. To get this off, you need to get this snap ring out, which isn't very hard with a screwdriver, but it will probably go flying. And I got lucky and found mine, but you've been warned. Now this, I found somebody online who claimed that nothing was holding this on. I don't know what's holding this thing on, but I can't get it off. Yeah, it seems like something is clearly holding it on. It could just be rust and, you know, friction. Just the comfort of having been here for a long time. But I think with those parts out, I have access to the bolts that I need to get to. One of them's that guy right there, and then the other one is this one. Okay, and I'm guessing I'll need to take him out on the other side too. Okay, so I'm not going to show a video of that because you're not going to be able to see anything. But I'm going to remove those bolts. All right, so I've now managed to get it off enough that I think I can get that pad in there. Really, it's just, I mean, it's exactly the same as the back. It's just a matter of, you know, pulling all those little metal clamps off of it and just keep working it around until you get enough of it off that you can get it off. Yeah, removing the seat itself, it's just, there's 2 screws on this side, and then there's 3 screws on the other side because one of the screws is attached to the seat belt that you should remove. Now you'll notice I am not taking this completely out, and that is because there's an electrical clip there, but that I wasn't really able to get out. If I had one of my smaller screwdrivers handy, I might have been able to, but it wasn't really necessary. Honestly, I'll probably have an easier time getting it back in because I didn't do that. Just because, you know, it's still more in proximity to everything that it's attaching to. So, yeah. But be mindful of where this cable is because you want to make sure, or at least when I'm going to do it, I want my cable to exit out the back of the seat. So like that. And now you can put it all the clamps right back the same way they came out. I want to give a little PSA. I had dropped the screw and I had a very hard time finding it. Probably took me at least 20-30 minutes and it was right in there. So don't drop your screws, put them somewhere safe. After you've vacuumed, it'd be a good idea to spray it out with an interior cleaner. I personally like this Express interior cleaner. I think it works pretty well, but I think all of them are pretty good. This one's also affordable, so. But yeah, clean it, spray it, and get a brush it off. And, now that you've cleaned this carpet, so that hopefully your wife has a little less to, complain about. This might be unique to me, but these wires should go inside this loom. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but yeah, I'm gonna stuff these wires back. Another thing that you'll be glad you did, if you do it right now, is run your wiring harness. So I just used fish tape. This is like a duct for the HVAC. So I just ran right next to it, not in it, right next to it, came up right here. And if I just run the harness now, I can adjust it a little more, get it a little further back after I've plugged everything in and hooked everything back up. All right, and then I'm gonna go ahead and at least hook this one up. This one's the one for the butt part of it. I'm gonna go ahead and hook this one up. But yeah, just make it a little easier. The one for the back, I think I could probably do after the seat's already up. Also, don't forget, if you disconnected either of these connectors, to reconnect them, okay? You want to do all this before the seat is reinstalled, because otherwise you're going to find that to be quite a bit more difficult. Not impossible, but quite a bit more difficult. All right, so the wire comes out of here, goes up. I just have a one zip tie right there, and then it goes over to here. And then I'm going to there's a little plastic piece that goes right here, and that's really what's going to hold all this up nicely, is that plastic piece. All right, so according to the directions, this needs a 22-30 seconds hole to mount this in, which is also 20 millimeters. I don't have a drill bit for that. What I do have is this stepper bit, and it does 5/8. I went ahead and grabbed this piece of scrap plastic and drilled a hole in it, and it seems like it fit pretty good. So we're gonna go with that. The hole I'm gonna drill goes in this little module here, and I'm going to just drill it right there. Okay. So that'll be nice and out of the way, but also accessible and easy to get. All right, so I have, when I put the key to the on position, not the accessory, the on position, I have a light. So that's a good sign. I don't want to drain my battery right now, and I'm not in a position to start my car, just because of where I'm physically at right now, the time of night it is, and that kind of thing. So if I'm able to test it before I drive, or before I post this video, then great. If not, that might have to be the test. Okay, sorry. But right now it does seem like it is working properly, and that's great. All right, so I got to test the seat heaters, and I will tell you, they're definitely warm. They're not like hot, but that could partly be because of the thickness of the material that the seat is made out of. Of like it's fabric. It's not like leather. So leather might actually transmit heat a little better. But it's definitely warm enough that your back and butt will appreciate it. Yeah, I'll also say the pad isn't huge, and so like the one for my butt, it doesn't warm like my legs at all. It only warms on my butt. Maybe that's just I got a big butt. I don't know, but yeah, that's kind of my review of it. Okay, it's definitely good. It's worth doing. When it gets cold again, I'll be glad I did it. But yeah, it's not necessarily like oh, this is really warm. My van has seat heaters from the factory, and those are really warm. But I don't know that these necessarily are, but they're still good, still worth doing, especially if you live in a cold climate. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll put a link in the description. If you have any comments, feel free to make them, and I'll see you in the next one.